This is Hunter back in Rect America, and we're delighted to have our favorite therapist and Dr. Flo.
Hey, hey. Hey there, Hunter. Dr. Flo here.
Yeah. Well, Flo, talk, Dr. Flo, what's going on with you with the COVID-19 business? What's happening in your world?
Oh, Lordy. Well, um, Dr. Flo doing her doctor business from inside of her house. I don't want to breathe the air of any other people, so I am just breathing them in through the phone. Breathing it in through the phone, breathing them in through the Zoom, but doing that a lot of hours a day.
Question for you. I go into recovery meetings, and they things kind of open back up. So some of the places that we I go for meetings. Um, we had a rebel group that was meeting outside in the parking lots and things, kind of unofficially. But now places are opening back up. Um, the the question I have for you is how are you feeling with doing your thing? Kind of lost track of thought. So in terms of that, as people are coming back, they're reporting that the Zoom meetings weren't working for them in terms of recovery, and they couldn't wait to get back to being with people, live people, interacting with people, the social interact. They couldn't get it from Zoom. Do you find that you can do your thing through Zoom? Is it working for you? Are
My
you?
are Do you mean therapeutic or do you mean
Yeah,
my recovery or do you mean either or
both.
both?
Either way. So first I started with that. You're working with you're saying you're working with people. Is it work? Is that
Yeah, I have been shocked
okay?
that for me, the and my clients, many of them, the phone, now not the Zoom per se, but the phone appears to be better than in
Wow,
person. There's
wow.
something about not having to look at me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Zoom works with some of the people just fine, and it's as if we're just in my office, like normal
Okay.
times.
Right. Right.
And then with some of the people, um, they prefer the phone, and we're making progress in ways that we weren't in person.
Wow. Okay.
They have
Okay.
said to
And
me that they don't pander to my face. Like my expressions, even though I try to keep it neutral, they're still trying to win my approval when we're looking
sure,
at each other.
sure. Well, in terms of communication, I'm not sure I'm not telling you anything you don't know that there's not just what we say. There's how we look, our expressions. Communication is as it's put it. There's in communication. There's the said and there's the unsaid. It's
Yeah.
all a part of communication.
Yes.
so
Yes.
so so I can appreciate then in terms of the unsaid, just over the phone, there is a certain freedom
Yeah.
that allows a certain I would liken it to, I guess, in the same way, a confessional, right?
Yes.
Right, the person,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I'm talking to somebody, but I'm not right. It's the
Yes.
box, right? It's a confessional booth. Is what wait a minute, the confessional booth, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Think of it that way. It's the same
That's
thing,
cool.
right?
Uh-huh.
You get
Ah.
right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That makes all the sense.
Yeah, right. It's kind of confessional booth.
But
Your phone just became kind of a confessional booth, right?
totally. Hell yes. Oh yes.
I can,
Yes.
I can see the look on your face in terms of getting it, what's going on there.
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
yeah.
can see now that you mentioned
You
that.
you can send me the check for that insight later.
Ah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Yes, I will. Only certain people would be able to pull that one out. That's very helpful. Very helpful, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. No, but
But
anyway, it's all good.
but having said that, I can with recovery, I could a little bit more understand what people are maybe kvetching about, because in the Zoom you got them all looking at you.
Wow. Yeah. Right. It's in a sense. It's almost like it's the 180, the opposite.
Yeah.
Right. And even though in a meeting, in a real meeting, you're in the room, so of course people can be looking at you, but they can be but when you're in Zoom, they are looking at you.
Yes.
There's no question.
They're all looking at you.
They're all looking at you. Sure. So yeah, right. Wow. That's wow. That's interesting. Yeah. So yeah. Very interesting. Yeah.
Yes. So
That's very,
I don't find it terribly different.
for you, no, for you personally.
For
How's
me,
that?
for myself in recovery, because I just close my eyes, and I would do that in a meeting. Certain meetings I find it a little bit. I guess it just depends, but I think it's the less about being in the room and more about who's looking at me.
Mm-hmm. So, well, and this is good. We can kind of go deeper here, but so. In a recent meeting, I was listening and to people sharing. I can't think of the topic, but it occurred to me about the rooms of recovery, and why there are many things that in the rooms of recovery. Um, there are many ways in which people are blessed by being in the rooms and for their journey and their in their recovery. Uh, One of the things that occurred to me is uh, for my characters and my authentic self, I feel at home. I can, like no other place, not around family or no other place, do I feel as at home in terms of being authentic as in these rooms. And one of the greatest things that, in terms of the rooms, that I've come to realize, is because of the rooms. If I was, and because I haven't been in rooms, I don't have to leave this earth without having been truly known for who I am. And to me, that's important to me. Is to be able to be truly known for who I am before I leave this earth, and that's something that I've only found in these rooms. And so when I say home, I don't mean in a kind of warm, fuzzy, kind of picturesque Norman Rockwell kind of home way.
Oh God!
Right, I'm not talking about that shit. Yeah, this ain't no Norman Rockwell picture. I'm talking about terms of who I really am and being able to truly be authentic.
Yes.
And with all my warts and scars and have some people truly have known me for who I am. I kind of feel that that's something that I think the Zoom can't do.
Yeah.
It can't give. I don't, as we
Mm.
get back in, it's it's you gotta kind of have, the technology isn't that powerful. It can't
Mm.
it can't give me that
Ah.
that I can talk on like I'm talking, but to truly feel like I'm there, I'm with these people,
Uh.
and that have that sense of home.
Uh.
I think you gotta be in the company
Ah.
and not just, you know that's my that's
That's
so
interesting.
I should, yeah, what's your
Mm,
take? That's my, I just kind of
that's
said.
that's helpful. Just it's new. I've been spending so much time thinking about why it's okay and just as good and better to be Zoom or on the phone, and it's nice to hear um the alternative position said in a way that I can resonate with. So there's something about embodiment, presence that doesn't necessarily come through over technology.
Yeah, it's and uh yeah, I just I the as we got back in the rooms, um and I listened, it kind of came to me as I listened to people share about that, and I just kind of realized for myself, um that um and part of the power that is, um and then I should wait here. um so I may have shared this definition with you. If not, I want to put it out there. uh the most important transformation, I believe, is is found in the transformation of how we occur to ourselves.
Mm,
And as I sit in these rooms and listen to people, it's not important to me to agree. I don't even have to totally understand where they're coming from, whether they're sharing. What I listen for is, how is that person being transformed and how they occur to themselves. And that's what's power, and listen to people, and just listen to how that's happening for them. It's not happening, that's just that, it's
yes,
just
that's
powerful.
wow.
I mean, it's
Mm,
and
mm, wow.
that's that's kind of the common bond that, which which is not black, white, this addiction, that addiction, I did this, that just that we are all having this process where how we are occurring to ourselves is changing. It's, that that's a that's special. It's unique to
Yeah.
it's unique to being, you know, in that space. That
Mhm.
back to that, that comes in that space. I don't find that the technology can deliver on
Huh.
that.
Huh.
Um, it takes some kind of going back to what we said a few minutes.
Huh.
It's the technology can get with the said, but the unsaid, the
Mm.
faces and other things we talk about as part of communication. If that's to the extent that that's important, you kind of got to be in the space to get that.
Mm.
So, but anyway, that was me. What about you? I did all talking.
Well, I Flo say Flo say that is just that's really beautiful. And does this mean you went back in person to the rooms?
Yeah. So they were open back. So yes. So to answer your question, yeah. So basically, yeah, I do the work that I have to do. I get out of this house every day. There's certain work I have to do in terms of clients, and so I have to go out. That's just I'm on the front line and doing essential work. So I do that. And other than that, going to the store, the only other thing that's part of my life right now is to go back into recovery rooms,
Mm.
and I hadn't stopped. That's something. So the one place I go, which I'm very nameless, um, a group of rebels never stopped.
Mm-hmm.
We met outside. We kept social, we under the trees and kept our distance, but we met and took very precautions, everything. And I did it with the understanding that some things are life or death. This was that important to me.
Ah,
I
I
I
see.
I and so
Uh,
for that recovery to get that I that we manage risk, and
ah,
that now for that was for me for my well being and my now for a dollar or to go out to dinner or something like that. No, I'm not doing
ah,
that. You know what I'm
ah.
saying? So we all have to manage risk
Yeah,
as we determine it's of our
yeah.
we all do our own risk management. But
Right.
for my for my recovery, um,
Uh-huh.
in that context, um, and now that it's open, this particular spot I go to is open back
Uh-huh.
up. Given I see the precautions they're taking, they're
Ah,
still keeping, in fact, even more so now they're coming back on the inside. I'm good. I'm
ah.
that I'm
More
that
distance. They're keeping
yeah,
more.
more distance, more distance.
Huh.
You sanitize when you come in, you sanitize when you go out. Like a lot of precautions
Interesting.
are taken. But
Mm.
the question I ask myself every day with everything I'm doing is, do I feel that this is worth dying over?
Uh,
And if I can say yes, then I'll do it. If I and that's something so from that standpoint,
mm.
this whole business has 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 helped me on a daily basis to take greater stock of of my life, what I'm doing, what's valuable, what's not valuable, in ways I don't that I have, as we speak for, I have perhaps taken life for granted.
Mm.
In terms of
Mm.
it's kind of daily walking through life, assuming, so don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Every, even to, I'm talking about, I think I may share with you, I have road rage.
Mm.
Did I tell you about
Yes.
that?
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
I have road rage to the point of somebody following me off, running me off the road. Whatever. I will follow you in my car and chase you to the parking lot and cuss your ass out.
Woo!
2 blocks ago, you cut me off. You pull in the
Ooh.
HEB parking lot. Now I could have got shot,
Uh,
whatever, whatever.
yeah.
But I'm thinking now. I'm just thinking about I let that go because I don't want to end up in confrontation. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to go to the hospital.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So COVID-19 helped me let that shit go.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
I just have to let you go because no
That's
matter what I'm doing, I don't.
amazing.
So I drive more defensively.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
so COVID-19 has helped me become a more defensive driver. I'm like, fine, you go.
Well, all right. Go ahead, COVID.
Right.
Yes.
right, you know,
All right. All right.
right.
Yes.
So yeah, because one of the things in my mind is, when I'm out here walking, whatever, I don't want to have anything happen if I can control it
Mm.
that finds me end up in the hospital.
Hell yes.
Okay,
That is a beautiful way of
diet,
putting it.
diet, whatever. I'm trying to eat better,
Yes.
whatever. Because guess what? I don't want to go to the hospital.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yes. Nothing is
right.
worth going to the
in
hospital.
Right.
God.
So I thank COVID for that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm looking at the positives.
Mm-hmm.
All these different positives.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. I
Right,
see.
right.
Yep.
Like I
Yep.
said, before getting shot, I didn't think about that.
That's hilarious.
But getting an altercation, have to go to the hospital.
Ah,
Oh,
getting shot was all right. Getting
Well,
shot was all right.
it wasn't that was right. I just didn't think about it.
Yes.
It's kind of like, in the moment, I'm not
Yeah.
thinking about that. I'm
It
just
just
thinking about
took
the
you
rage,
over.
which
It
took me
just
over.
took you over.
But with COVID, it's like I'm keeping that shit in check.
Yeah. COVID's done something to your pause button or your reflection skills or your mindfulness treatments or I don't know. That's
Right.
curious. That's curious.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I do.
Right.
Yeah, I do.
Like,
Well, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like every moment. Okay, what's
Mm-hmm.
I got that. Just, it's not. And I'm saying COVID. It's just that image of the hospital
Oh
is
yeah.
is looming. It's kind of like
Yeah. That image of the hospital.
Like,
Ooh.
no.
Ooh. Phobic hospital phobia.
Right. Right now. Okay.
Yes.
That's where we are. So.
All right, I hear you.
So that's me. How about you?
I just staying in my house. Just staying in my house. I'm just staying in my house. I think you're onto something here about the importance of the room for recovery as opposed to Zoom, but this is the first thought I've given it that I may one day want to go outside of the house again. I haven't given that much thought. I don't want to go out of the house, and I haven't been able to understand why people want to go out of the house for any reason. And so, um, I'll have to. This is just might have helped me a little bit here with my agoraphobia, my new agoraphobia, whatever it is that I don't want to leave my house. So.
Well, and I say to you, my response to that would be, I don't see it as I don't. To me, I bring it back to life or death. We make decisions, we manage risk according to. We manage risk, and part of managing risk is that making some assessment about what's of importance, and part of that comes down to what's life or death about.
Mm.
And we make those decisions, and for each one of us, that's a personal decision to make. I don't think there's any phobias to my mind. There's no phobias to it. It's just a matter of we all have different levels of risk tolerance.
That's true.
And how what we want to, what we can and we're willing to tolerate, and how and in terms of and what we value. So I don't think I don't see it as phobic. I just see it as we do that calculation in our head, or consciously or unconsciously, and as that's what I had to ask myself. When am I willing to go up here to get with these people for whatever reason, if I understand that I might contract something, is it worth it? And in that sense, and I've said that, and because of that, I've said in those meetings, if the content of the meeting was kind of people not talking, whatever, I kind of get indignant. This is life or death. I ain't coming here for no bullshit. Y'all better talk. You better say something. Shit. got me out here risking my life to come here and to sit around it, and y'all ain't gonna say shit.
Stare at them.
Stare. How dare you?
Yes.
You better say something. Shit.
The expectations have been raised.
Exactly. Right. You better be on your A game. Come on with it. Give me something. So yeah. I ain't coming here for nothing.
My God. No, I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's real. I mean, in that sense. But that is what this is all about anyway. This isn't play. This isn't something, if you really have this is life or death.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to, are you going to drink or whatever the addiction? This is life or death. You shouldn't be playing. We shouldn't be playing with this. This is real.
Wow.
And COVID just helped to focus that shit.
That makes some sense to me.
Right,
wow. Let's live in the damn moment. Like, if we're here, let's do it.
Let's do it. We ain't playing.
Wow. That's cool. What do you do with that while you're sitting there and others aren't recognizing that?
Oh, no, but that's the groups that the rebel groups that were initially started. Everybody was in because we all understood that. But that's what made it powerful. We all understood that. We understood what we were doing and the risks we were taking. So we, it didn't happen. But here's the thing: now that it's kind of shifted to go back inside, now those people,
right? The non-rebel people,
right?
They're back.
They're back. Those are kind of take, right? Like.
Oh man, that makes sense. Oh my God, you must be missing the rebel group.
Well, no, they're there too, but it's the numbers. It's kind of So it's all good. It's all
no,
good.
No. I mean that your mind.
But some of us do. If it does, what was the term? If there's a lull and people aren't sharing, they're not coming with it. They're not bringing it. Those of us who are rebels, who we'll say something.
Cool.
we're like,
cut the bullshit.
Cut the bullshit.
Wow. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's like it's almost say particularly in some of the meetings around alcohol, they'll say people would be flailing about for answers as to how to deal with the addiction to alcohol, and they say, the old timers would say, work the steps or die, motherfucker. It's that simple. Everybody
yeah, man.
It ain't hard.
Wow.
In other words, they didn't have like a passion. They're like, yeah, that's it. That's the choice you got. Work the steps or die, motherfucker.
Wow. Did anybody ever say that to you?
No.
Have you seen that work?
What? I've heard it said with a little more compassion.
Okay.
But today,
yes.
But the person saying it was saying to a person today, when I came in here, this is what they told me.
Yes.
And I'm pretty much telling you the same thing.
Okay. They couch it that way.
They couch it that way, but they are telling you this. They are telling the person the same thing. That they're like, well, this is going, and it's like after a minute they're like, look,
wow,
it's a choice you got. Cut out all that.
That's great. No, I just that's
yeah,
really
let's not,
helpful.
yeah, let's,
Yes.
you know.
Huh. Okay. Got it.
Where you at, Flo?
Where am I at? I'm thinking about somebody that I want to help in recovery who and I needed that phrase. So thank you. Work the steps or die, motherfucker. Yeah, and I'm also just really I don't know, you're giving me some food for thought here, like on the Zoom meeting. That makes sense. Like we're all, yeah, we need to talk more. Like the authenticity has gone down.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and here's the thing, kind I go back to what I said about home, and that's even connected to life or death and the importance of it. That authenticity and the power of that, and seeing the people transform and being transformed, how they occur to themselves in an authentic environment. The experience of that is about life and death, and it's worth that to be a part of that in terms of the risk involved. So it's all of one, and that's like home. That is, the experience of that is just like comes down to for me with sobriety, I don't know. I know intellectually, um, what is it? I know intellectually the Serenity Prayer. I don't know emotionally the Serenity Prayer, because for me, sobriety is every day. It's not about serenity. It's about getting up and let's get ready to rumble. And every day that I lay my head down and I still have my sobriety, that's another day I kicked his ass. And I can, and I can, and so that's, and everything that is a part of helping me get to where I can lay my head down in that respect, is been a part of life or death matter. It's been a part of the equation for that day, and to be able to get to that point for that day is what it's all about. And that which doesn't contribute to that, or that which is that which can contribute to that, is a part of what for me is needed for that day. And that which isn't about that, it's not worth my time. It's not. It's counterproductive. It's not. It's, to use the firm term, it's non-essential.
That's funny. Yes.
Yeah. And yeah.
Anything that's not a part of the fight for sobriety, or anything that's not a part of the experience of serenity, because you say a part of that. anything that's not a part of that is non-essential.
Yeah, that I'm referring to in this famous quote from John Kennedy. Let me say this about that. This about that is what helps to lay down at night in peace, realizing I may not wake up in the morning. What was essential that when I lay my head down, if it's the last time I lay my head down, that's that's what I'm talking about. And that can be related to that, may be another thing in terms of life partner, my life partner. Lucy and I we've talked about, when we this whole situation made us realize, I think I did I tell you about the woman with the it's actually about the Jewish woman with her little brother in the shoes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, she actually lives here in Houston now. But true story, she was they were Auschwitz survivors. And she was was her little brother. They were on a train coming to Auschwitz. And when the train arrived, they were disembarking the train. He had lost one of his shoes, and she said to him, "What is wrong with you? Can't you keep up? Can't you keep track of anything?" Chastising him. And they went different ways. It's the last time she saw him. And from that experience, she lived the rest of her life never wanting to say anything to anybody. That's not if you're not prepared for that to be the last thing that you say to that person, then don't say it. If you're comfortable that this will be the last thing you ever say to that person.
Wow, that's powerful there.
And that's where she lived the rest of her life. And so Lucy and I decided, in a situation when we, leave the house every day,
yeah, totally. That makes sense. Yeah. Guard your words.
Yeah, you guard your, yeah. Because it could be. So yeah. So that's part of this whole, again, that's all
taking
connected.
Stock and
yeah.
What's important.
Yeah, that's what's important is that I'm referring to. And it has that, and you said, but there's so many things that are part of that. Well, Flo, what do you got for me as we close out?
Well, Flo got Flo learned a lot of stuff from you today.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. No. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, if that's cool too. It's a two-way. The door swings both ways. So
yeah, the door is swinging.
Yeah. So if you any closing thoughts, I guess we'll say.
Closing thoughts. Let's see. I'm appreciative really, I'm just grateful for your words about. It's just that you've kind of given me a succinct way of thinking about something that's been haunting me in the cost benefit analysis of what to do around this COVID shit. So, uh, just a matrix for thinking about what's important enough. Is it important enough? Uh, no, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Well, look, we have a couple we can, you know, we
Mm-hmm.
can pick that up. And I also recall we have a overdue a conversation around that as I have in my notes here, a thin line between, I think,
Mm.
yeah, what did we say?
Love addiction
Yeah,
and
yeah,
love.
yes, I have it here in my notes. I'm not
Oh
gonna let you
yeah.
get away.
Oh yeah.
Uh, uh, between
Ah.
love and addiction, right? Thin line.
Ah.
so,
Ah.
so
Ah.
okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay. That
next
is
for next
maybe
time.
next time.
Next
Okay.
time.
Next
All right.
time. Okay, sir.
All right.
Take it easy, Hunter.
All right, Flo. You be
Okay.
well.
You be
Okay.
well
Talk to
too.
you.
Safe. Okay. Talk to you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.